Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my updated foundation routine, and this is basically my summertime foundation routine as well as my updated foundation routine. So you're getting two in one. I'm going to share with you guys all the products that I've been liking recently for my skin, especially for these dry summer months, and things that I have been using to work well with my tan that I have going on, kind of. I've honestly just been obsessed with skin care videos and like foundation routines. Literally that's all I've been like YouTubing and Instagramming, so I just find so much pleasure in like seeing people's foundation routines and how they cover things up and like what they use to make their skin look a certain way. For me in particular, it's like looking nice and dewy. Since it's spring and summer and maybe that's how it is in your area, then I figured this would be the perfect time to do it. Remember, keep in mind that I do have dry skin, and what may work for me is not going to work for you, but that is how you figure out what does work for you. You keep trying different products and then find your formula, your own cocktail, your own foundation cocktail. So if you guys want to see how I got this glowy foundation summertime foundation routine, does that make sense? Anyway, just keep on watching. Love you guys. Bye. So first of all, I just wanted to talk about the moisturizer that I use. Of course, I don't have it, but I literally show it in every single video. It is my Pond's moisturizer. It is my go-to moisturizer because I am very dry. So I like it when there's like a coating of just moisture on my skin. Next, we're going to talk about primers. So I have two primers here. You guys know that I'm not a huge primer girl, but sometimes I do like to prep my face for various reasons, whether it be I want a really smooth foundation, depending on like if I'm going out somewhere, or if I want a really nice dewy, luminous look, which is pretty much all the time. So I have two different primers for each occasion, and honestly you can mix these, but these really work well with my skin, and I'll explain why. So the first one that I really like for blurring purposes is the CoverFX Blurring Primer. I received this in my BoxyCharm and I love this stuff. Clearly you guys can tell I've gotten plenty of use out of it, but this is really nice to kind of fill in your pores. I don't have large pores, but I find that when I use this, it just gives my face like an overall sort of like filter almost, and then when I go ahead and put my foundation on, it looks really, really nice. Most days I can really care less about that, especially if I'm going to work or something, like I just need to cover up, you know, even out my skin tone. But if I'm taking pictures or doing something crazy, then I'm definitely going to wear this. The next one that I'm going to use today and that I'm going to talk about is the Spotlight Illuminating Primer. I always get confused with this because this is actually a dupe for the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I used to use that one a lot on my channel. I ran out of it, never repurchased it. I would, but when there's something like this on the market for cheaper, I kind of rather not. So I'm going to start off with this. Again, this is the Illuminating Primer. So this is super nice for even like to wear it by itself. It is so nice, and it just has like a luminous finish to it, as you guys can see, and I like to wear this under my foundation, and I also like to wear it alone, especially if I'm not wearing makeup. If I'm not wearing makeup, I'm gonna put a little bit of this on because it really does help with the glow on the skin, and if I'm not wearing makeup, then I really like a luminous, healthy looking complexion. For my foundation, currently I've been using the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the dewy and smooth one. You guys know this because I started tanning, and honestly I'm getting a little bit lighter, which is nice because I was super tan. But I'm still using this, and the reason is because although this foundation is super dark, it is such a light and very kind of like skin-like foundation that it kind of just melts into the skin and like goes with my skin tone still. I guess that like when I was tanner I used to go a little heavier with it, but now that I'm getting lighter, like I find that if I just go in with my beauty blender, it'll just match my skin like perfectly. So I'm just applying this to my skin. I'm just gonna use the beauty blender. I just find that this really helps to kind of put a thinner layer so that it's not too deep. So I'm just gonna start blending this out, and I'm using my Eco Tools blender. I really like this blender, honestly. It's a really nice, inexpensive dupe for beauty blenders, and I have new beauty blenders, but I just like this one. It really does work nice. And I actually just bought a new one, which is this one that I'm using because my other one kind of ripped, and I feel like I had been using it for forever. And make sure to blend that down your neck because you want everything to be nice and matchy. Just gonna go super gently in between the brows and over my brows. And I don't do anything special. Like, I'm not too careful with my brows. I mean, I feel like they're not going anywhere, whatever. If I cover them up a little bit, it's not a big deal. So next I'm going to go in with concealer. I have been using the Makeup Revolution concealers. I love these concealers. These are great. They're such a good buy and they're so inexpensive. I love them, honestly. I'm using shade C10. No, this is C7. I was using shade C10 when I was super dark, but I stopped tanning. So now I went back to kind of like my normal shade, but this is a little darker. Just like a smidge darker than my normal, like when I'm super pale. So I'm just putting this under the eyes. I don't go too hard with concealer either because I'm very minimal when it comes to my face makeup. I like it to look as natural as possible, and I find that when you put thick layers of makeup on, it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good in my opinion. I don't like the way it looks on my skin, so. And it just sits nicer when you have less on. Like, it doesn't, it lasts all day for me. I sweat at work and it just lasts. So I'm just taking this right underneath here and patting it. You want to pat it, like, don't swipe. Oh my god, I hate when people do their makeup and they swipe, because I just, like, your skin is just like being tugged at. Be super gentle with your skin, especially near the under eyes. Like, there's no need, you know? Take your time, pat it out nice and soft. Whew, we're looking great already. I'm just gonna take some setting powder. I have it right here in front of me, and I'm using the Pretty Vulgar setting powder. I'm honestly, like, not too picky with setting powders. The only thing I don't like about my setting powders is obviously for them to leave a crazy white cast. And I also don't like setting powders that, like, when you wipe them off, they leave like a residue, almost like a shimmery residue. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but sometimes you use powders and when you wipe it off or like pat it away, it leaves like this thick layer of like gunk and it just looks cakey, in other words. Like, why do they make under eye powders like that? I think I tried the Kat Von D one time like that. And I was like, did I go like too heavy on this? Then I'm taking the excess and going around my nose again. And my smile lines. But I'm not putting extra product there. I don't want my skin to look super dry. So next is setting your face. Now, in the summer, I kind of do have to set my face because I can get a little sweaty, oily, which I don't have oily skin, but I still don't like the way it looks in the summer. So I'm going to use my Ambient Lighting palette by Hourglass. You guys know that I'm obsessed with these ambient lighting powders, and for good reason. These powders are pricey, but they're so amazing and they look beautiful on the skin. If you love to do bridal makeup or very dewy skin, you need Luminous Light. I wonder if it's in here. No, Luminous Light is not in this one. I actually have that one individually, but honestly, I feel like these powders are great for everyone. Just pick one up and set your face with it. It gives you an automatic, like, kind of glow from within, and they're ambient lighting powders, so they all have that really nice shimmer. So I'm just taking that and I just went into every single one on this flat buffer brush. It's not too dense, even though it looks dense, it's kind of like soft, and I'm just gonna pat this on my skin. You can already see like that glow that I'm talking about. Especially in the centers of your face where you want that extra like highlight. It just looks so beautiful. I love this stuff. So then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just, again, I'm patting, I'm not swiping, I'm just gonna pat away the rest of the powder. Your beauty blender is so wet, so it does a really nice job at just pressing the powder into the skin while removing the excess. Alright, so for bronzer, I'm going to be using my Marc Jacobs Cocoa Deep Foundation. I love this stuff. Again, a foundation is going to go on smoother than bronzer, so I'm a little tan still, and I don't really have bronzers that match my skin tone right now, so I just like to go in with this one. It is very dark, so you have to be light with it, but I'm using this small contouring brush, and I'm just going to swivel it barely, because this stuff is like super pigmented. Tap off, and then you can start to just contour. Now you're probably going to have a super harsh line like how I have now. That's perfect. Just buff it away. It will buff away. This is foundation, so it'll buff away really nicely actually, and give you a little bit of coverage if you need it. What? And again on the parameters of the forehead. And you can just pat this here. I like to pat it in this area because I feel like it's easier to blend. And now you can see that like overall dimension in my face where it's like a little hollow here. Forehead looks nice. So now I'm going to take my blush. I'm going to be using MAC Warm Soul. This is just a classic and it kind of matches my eye look today, I guess. I was just having fun, you guys. I literally put orange in the crease, a little yellow on the lid, blended it, and then that's it with some winged liner. So I'm just going to take some of this and then put this on my cheeks. Nice and softly. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, just gently over the skin. This also has a luminous like radiance to it, which is really nice because it's a mineralized blush. For highlighter, you guys, I love this highlighter. I talked about it on Snapchat, I think, or like my Instagram story, something. Prosecco Please by Steve Laurent Jelly Highlighter. Prosecco Please is the shade. Oh, you guys, I love this. It's a jelly highlighter. It's amazing. I will go through the steps again because I did this on Instagram or on Snapchat, wherever, and I just had to show you guys. So I'm just going to take some directly on my finger. This stuff feels like a pillow. It's like jelly. Take a little bit on your finger and then just pat. I love this highlighter. It looks like skin. No joke. But I need a mirror. So I'm going to just dip. Just a little bit, a little teeny bit to give you that really nice glow. And again with your finger, this is the best way I find to apply it just because it is a jelly highlighter. You are putting it over makeup already. So if you're swiping, going in with like a brush, the bristles, like no. You need something with warmth, something to tap it in, put it right on top, help mix it with the makeup that you're already wearing to give it that skin-like effect. And that's it. I mean, come on now. You guys, I'm not making this stuff up. Alright, so then for the lips today, I have been using this Terra Kiss lip liner by Jordana. I love this color and I always get compliments on it. And it's weird because I feel like I like to switch my things up depending on my skin tone color. Sometimes you gear more towards one thing, and then like when you're paler you like to gear more towards different products. This is just the type of shade that I like when I'm tan. It's almost like a maroon, it kind of looks like, but it does have a warm finish to it. I swear I'd be seeing deer all over my house. Yeah, it was a deer. I just saw it. This is the combo here. It is the NYX Butter Gloss in Madeline, and then I have the MAC Lip Gloss in Spite. And what I like to do is put the Madeline one on first. Nope. And that's it. This is my summertime foundation routine and current foundation routine. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media platforms, which I will have linked down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye.